heroism comes in many forms. Some are born into greatness, a gift bequeathed from the heavens. Others, however, must suffer a more arduous tale, meeting pain and tragedy on the road to becoming the hero of whom they dreamed. This is one such story. With his sublime 5th anniversary buff, Heroic Spirit EMIYA has established himself as one of Fate Grand Order's premier Archer-class servants. Yet it was not always this way, for before this counter-guardian developed his extensive offensive repertoire, he toiled for years in mediocrity, as others passed him by. EMIYA was one of the 5 Archer-class servants available when Fate Grand Order was released back in July 2015. But much like the game, he got off to a difficult start. Possessing a Buster Noble Phantasm with a triple arts deck, and a trio of skills that were either underpowered or downright unhelpful, his kit was disjointed from the very beginning. His least problematic skill might have been his first, the inferior, true iteration of Mind's Eye. It did provide him 1 turn of evasion and a small 3-turn defensive buff, so some survivability. But while the defensive buff is quite fitting on taunts like Chevalier d'Eon, it is rather less so on offensive servants such as EMIYA, who instead benefit more from the critical damage buff on the Fate version. But this was merely the beginning of his problems. For his second skill is the astoundingly useless Clairvoyance. It provides a paltry increase to his star generation for 3 turns. Not that his normal attacks with just 1 quick card were generating stars anyway. Instead, it's primarily meant to be paired with the multi-hit Unlimited Blade Works, which can generate stars upon defeating enemies, yet so pathetic is Clairvoyance's value that even with significant overkill, only a meager number of stars are retained. Yet even this made more sense than his final skill, the 1-turn arts buff of Magecraft ranked C-. C-? Even the rank of the skill is depressing. But at least this could buff the otherwise unimpressive damage of his Buster Noble Phantasm. Oh, wait a second! Rather than having a buff that improves his main weapon, his Noble Phantasm, it instead focuses on his trio of arts cards, slightly improving their damage and helping to some extent regarding their NP gain, leaving Unlimited Blade Works rather limited in damage potential. While not overly problematic at launch, this unfortunate combination of a disjointed kit, middling damage, and all-around mediocrity saw a man who was quite possibly the Fate franchise's second most famous face left in the dust as new and superior servants arrived in the game. It would take a lot of work to fix him, but EMIYA was no stranger to overcoming the odds. Thankfully, Masters could get to work on Archer right away, if only a bit. Upon completing his first interlude and getting him to bond level 4, his second interlude would unlock, the completion of which upgraded his Noble Phantasm, improving its damage and allowing him to better compete with the titans that previously dwarfed him in terms of damage, such as Gilgamesh and Eric Blood. Given it already ignored all defensive buffs, this was a welcome, if not yet too significant, improvement. But Masters would have to wait until the game's 1st anniversary to see the first of many truly transformational upgrades, the genesis of EMIYA's development into one of FGO's greatest archers. Receiving a rank up the same day as fellow Scrapheap to Stardom superstar Senno, the impotent Magecraft was discarded in favour of Projection rank A. Aside from significantly increasing the skill's maximum value from 32% to 40%, the buff was no longer confined to just arts cards, now boosting all 3 card types for 1 turn, providing a very effective buster buff for Unlimited Blade Works. And things only got better from there. EMIYA received a second rank up quest a mere 2 months later. For a servant who has shown himself to be reliant on a diverse offensive arsenal in Fate's Stay Night, EMIYA's offense was surprisingly one-dimensional in Fate Grand Order, relying almost solely on unlimited blade works. This was fixed by replacing the moribund Clairvoyance with Hawkeye rank B+. This gave him a 3-turn critical damage buff of up to 100%, allowing EMIYA to pulverize his opponents with powerful critical hits over a prolonged period. Better still, he now had the means of generating the stars necessary to execute upon this critical potential, with the maximum star generation buff having been increased from the measly 32% to 100%. Now EMIYA had gone from an underwhelming 4-star reliant on an underpowered noble phantasm to one of the best archers in Fate's Grand Order, boasting a powerful hybrid offense of wave farming, competent star generation, and immense critical hits. And he was not done there. On the 6th day of the game's 5th anniversary for the NA server, that being earlier today, if you're watching the day this is uploaded, in which case, hi, nice to see you, EMIYA received his 3rd and to date final rank up. This was to Projection, ranking it up to Circuit Connect rank EX, and in so doing, made EMIYA the first servant in the game to have a single skill ranked up twice, setting a new precedent for the future of FGO. And it was a buff as special as the occasion would suggest. It not only further increases the maximum value of the buff to 50%, but allows masters to change unlimited blade works from Buster to Arts for that turn. With the NP's great number of hits, this allows for significant NP refund potential, and with the right amount of overkill and preferably some NP gain buffs too, may even allow him to loop autonomously in those situations. However, it is perhaps best paired with the greatest buff almost any servant could receive, reuniting EMIYA with Artoria. Artoria Caster's kit, including battery, NP gain, and a hefty arts buff, allows EMIYA to use this new tool to loop with ease, hitting the enemy with back-to-back noble phantasms and potentially generating a tremendous number of stars from overkill to boot, letting him hammer the enemy further with powerful critical hits. This is EMIYA's final form, a lethal damage machine. And to reach this pinnacle, all it took was for Archer to reforge the links he may never have been able to in life. While EMIYA started out as a fairly mediocre archer and certainly lags behind many of the game's new arrivals, he is now without doubt one of the top members of his class in the game. He truly has left the scrap heap and entered Stardom. Thank you all so much for watching. I've been SteamDunes. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to watch future videos, and a major thanks to Super Exomeda for allowing me to use some of their footage in this video. You can find a link to their channel in the description box below. I've been SteamDunes, and thank you for watching.